Welcome back to the channel, you magnificent, beautiful, eternal beings that we all are. Today I want to talk about rabbit holes and how many have you been down? What searching have you done consistently on the internet, day in, day out, week in, week out, year in, year out, decade in, decade out maybe? All to find that where is this leading? What is actually happening? What is this place we call Earth? This realm, this simulation, this whatever it is. Because as we go down these rabbit holes and as we try to search and we want more knowledge and we want more information and I want this and I want that, what actually are we searching for? What is it that's driving us to find something, and what is that something? And on the journey to find this something, we come across many different theories or truths even. You know, is this place a prison planet, a farm? Is it a simulation? Is it an experience? Is it a school? Have we been infiltrated? Have we been invaded? Is this a garden of experience? What really is it? The more we keep searching and the more we keep, especially staying on the internet, staring at the phone or a computer, trying to gain more knowledge, creates more confusion, more unhappiness, more fear. And that's what I found on my journey anyway. It didn't bring me what I was actually looking for, because what we're looking for is actually so close. More close than we can possibly imagine. But before I talk about that, let's talk about this words that we've been fed to us on the truth movements, if we'll call it that, the conspiracy side of things. Now, I'm not saying that conspiracies are not true. It's all about truth, but they're fed to us on purpose. The system wants us to know these things. It doesn't not want us to know. It wants us to find out for some reason. Now, is that some reason that behind it all, our spirit is trying to wake us up? Of course, but to wake us up to what? To more rabbit holes, to more confusion, to more fear? I'm sure it wasn't, and it never has been that way, but something or someone, or whatever you want to call it, wants to keep us locked into a low vibration, a low state of being in fear. It doesn't want us to be happy, free, fulfilled, and all those wonderful things that we actually are really deeply looking for. It wants us so confused and so not knowing who we truly are. The system can then sell us whatever it wants because we're so lost. We've lost our connection to what we are. We've lost what we feel. We lost our navigating our feelings. We've lost ourselves in the emotions that pull us around, because emotions are certainly much different from what feelings truly are. We've lost our sense capability. We've been reduced now to 5 senses, and possibly 6 if we're quite tuned into our psychic areas. But apparently we have about 360 senses. So you imagine what we're not perceiving. If we have 360 senses and we're only using 5 of those, we are missing out on so much. Not just what we can perceive with our eyes, but the sensing of this place and wherever it is. And something or someone does not want us sensing and knowing exactly what's going on. So as we find ourselves not knowing what's going on and keep on searching and staying in that confusion and staying in that fear state, we are susceptible to so much control. We are susceptible to the programming and to the beliefs that are being imposed upon us. But we can break out of these. Why stay miserable? Why stay in fear? Why stay confused? Why stay in places that they want you in? Why do this? Because it is inherently very difficult to come out of this. And that's the whole play of it all. It is difficult to come out of this. You hear so many people talk about this and that, and you know, get yourself in a fulfilled state, and you know, live life to the maximum, and you know, go out and be creative and do your art and do this and do that. But so many of us are locked up. You know, I was locked up for many years, and I lost what I feel was a great portion of my life to fear. And I know about fear. I lived in fear for over 2 decades, deep terror and deep fear. I lost my health through it, I lost businesses through it, I lost many beautiful relationships through that, through being in those modes. And I went down the conspiracy routes and I went down the truth movement for so long. In the end, I had to surrender, something had to change. And that change was coming back to my heart. And that's the message, my main message is, our true self is of the heart, is of love. Because I don't feel love has any opposite. And a lot of people say, well, you know, love's the opposite of fear. And I don't see it that way. I don't see love as anything to do with duality, any way, shape or form. I feel that love is what creates everything, the power of love, the powerful energy that we create energies, what we truly are. I don't think that is in duality. I think that's another game that's been played upon us, that, you know, there's an opposite to love. We stay in these states because we don't know how to get out of them, because we are in that desperation. And if you are in those desperate states, or you are even just a place where you're a little bit pissed off and I want change and I want to do this, and why is this like that and why is that like this? So these questions are all great, and I feel it is all part of our journey, and perhaps the fear and everything else was part of my journey. And on some level, I see it as a blessing, because without going through that, maybe I wouldn't have developed the compassion to have that I have for other people now. And maybe I wouldn't have developed the compassion to now share this and teach this and want to be a helping hand and want to be of service to others. Because I've said it before and I will always say this, we do need each other. And by needing each other, we can then create community, even on the internet like this. As I said in the last video, it is helping us to then remember to stand in our own power and then create and do what we want to do in our lives. So as we come out of these lower states, and as we come into better energy and better vibration by clearing ourselves of the old crud, as I call it, the old ways, coming out of our old stories, we start to create a reality that we want to see, not that someone else wants to see, or someone else is programming through whatever, through the media, through the TV, through the internet, through the truth movement either, of what they want reality to be. We take our power back. We start creating a reality that we want to see. And we create a reality for ourselves and the life that we want to live and how we want to live it, however that looks for you. The question is, what do you want? Now, most people don't actually know what they want. So it's a good idea to start sitting with ourselves to actually ponder and contemplate, what is it I actually want in my life? What is it I would like to experience? How do I want to feel? Not what someone else wants you to feel, or how the system may want you to feel, because that's normally in a lower state of fear, to get you to consume, to come out of yourself, to buy things, to have things outside of you deem are going to make you happy, but they're always short-lived. They never last long. I went down many of those roads, going out, buying things, buying a house, buying a bigger house, buying another bigger house, getting a business, building it up, more money, to buy cars. I used to buy cars. I had 6 cars at one point. I mean, it did dawn on me when looking at it. I was like, none of this is making me happy. It's actually making me more miserable, because all the pleasures I was trying to seek are within here. All the pleasures that I really want to experience, happiness, joy, abundance, not necessarily money. I'm not saying money's a bad thing at all. If you want lots of money, go for it. But the abundance of nature, the abundance of friendship, the abundance of opening the heart, the abundance of such the simple things, the pleasures from within here, the spirit's pleasures, of happiness, dancing, joy, being at one with yourself, being at one with what I call Great Mother, Great Nature, the beautiful Mother Nature. Watching animals, it brings me joy. It doesn't have to be these great exuberant things, but we can be exuberant in our expression. I mean, look at nature. She's exuberant. She's extravagant and bountiful. And we can be that too. Because the system, someone wants us in scarcity, scare city. They want you scared. They want you to think about lack and limitation. They don't want you remembering who you truly are, because when you remember who you truly are, you will remember how powerful you are. And that frightens others, because we are truly powerful, and we do create reality, and we can create a reality that we want to see, we want to envisage for ourselves, for others, and especially for the young children coming up into this world. Because the young ones are going to need us to step up, step into our game, make this place a much better place, however we can do that. And I know that sounds cliche, and I know that's been said many times before, but it is something to aspire to, at least to aspire to, and at least try to achieve on some level. So I feel our mission is to eradicate fear, totally eradicate it. Or maybe not totally, maybe keep enough to like get you out of the way of the bus. Maybe to, you know, just move you in certain areas. Or if you're in an area where you might feel a little unsafe, the fear might be working for you on a good step. But you know what I mean? That generalized fear, that anxiety, that worry, that hopelessness, that's got to go. And it will go. The more we come back to ourselves, the more we do the internal work. And I said this on the last video, you know, oh, work, I don't want to hear that word again, but we can make it fun. We don't have to be all serious about this all the time. It's that seriousness again that gets us stuck, where we are actually childlike beings inside. Our spirit is very childlike, very inquisitive, very like, wow, look at this, look at that. It is. And that's in there waiting to be rekindled. That's in there waiting to come back out. That's waiting for us all to enjoy that again. So let's not create what they want. Let's create what we want. And let's do that with big open hearts. And let's start that right now. Right in this very moment. We do that for ourselves right now. Whatever that is for you. You know, it works from the inside out. So just smile. Just smile. No matter what's happening in your life, I'm sure you can find a smile. Even in what we'll consider something bad, something not good, we can still find a smile in there. We can still find it within ourselves. Do you know what? Even in this situation I find myself in, I can smile. I can be okay. And I've got this and I can do this. So let's start there. See where we can take this, and let's see where this leads. Much love.